1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Aaron. Guests on Keel Appear are heard via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker hotline. Caddo Commissioner Mario Chavez is here. Hey, Mr. Mario, welcome back. Always nice talking to you.
Robert, likewise. Good morning, guys.
Explain to us what happened with the possible mandated vaccine for Caddo Parish workers. Did it pass? Did it go to committee? What did you guys do with it?
Yeah, the kind of mandate.
It was actually very confusing. I saw a lot of news articles last night saying that it failed on a 7-5 vote. However, I guess after it failed, the news people kind of packed up their cameras and took off, but they didn't realize that it was reconsidered later in the agenda, and it was brilliant. I'll tell you, there was two different things yesterday where a new commissioner or a new politician, if they're not watching and learning, they're going to get left behind. I know we have some new commissioners on the horseshoe. And I told them what was going to happen. I don't think they believed me. And then sure enough, here it came. So if you are on the prevailing side,
the winning side,
yes, then you're allowed to reconsider. So Commissioner Jackson, he's brilliant. He really is. When it comes to politics, when it comes to the decorum and how you navigate through Robert's Rule of Order, I believe he voted for it to be able to allow to reconsider later, which is very smart. He's actually done this a couple of times. So he did it, I believe, to reconsider later, and he had some good amendments. I think they came so late in the day that it didn't give enough people time to look at them, to consider them. So some of the other commissioners just voted no on them.
Wait, so he voted for a mandate, a vaccine mandate?
He voted against it. So Stephen Jackson voted with us,
with the Republicans,
right, to kill it. But I believe he voted with us. That would enable him to reconsider it later, because now he's on the prevailing side. Now he's on the winning side. Whereas if he voted against it, nothing could happen. Nothing could take place later.
You keep saying he voted against it. You're wording it where you're confusing me.
He voted against the resolution. So the resolution brought forth by Commissioner Burrell was to mandate the vaccine or to get the test.
And because, pardon me just a second, Mario, and because he voted against the mandate, knowing that the mandate would lose, he is now on the winning side, even though it's not necessarily what he thought, which means that down the line, according to Robert's Rules of Order, he can move to reconsider the whole thing. Where if he were on the losing side, if he'd been on the losing side, he couldn't do that, right?
That's correct, Robert. You hit it.
So when he brought it up for reconsideration, what happened then? After all the cameras are gone, the reporters are gone, then something changed?
Yes. And Robert and Commissioner Young have a good rapport. So, and Commissioner Young, he had some reservations because he does want to see a little more things done at the parish for the employees, for the safety. So Commissioner Jackson went to him and he said, let's move it to committee and work on some of this other stuff in between that. So if you see guys get up in the meeting, they're also strategizing and agreeing on doing other things besides just going to get a cup of water or using the restroom. Mm-hmm. And that's what had happened.
So what was the vote? What was the vote to move it to committee? Did the Republicans vote to not even move it to committee, or was that unanimous? Y'all said, okay, go ahead.
No, it actually fell the other way. So
it fell 7-5 to move it to committee.
Correct. 7 being all the Democrats plus Young. Now, first off, you have to vote to reconsider.
Right.
So Commissioner Jackson had to solicit Commissioner Young to vote yes to reconsider, because if it would have fallen on party lines, it would have fell 6-6, and it would not have been able to be reconsidered. So he queried Young, got it reconsidered, got back on the agenda, and then voted to move it to committee, whereas the Democrats voted yes to move it to committee plus Young. So now it sits where it's headed to committee.
7-5 headed to committee.
So tipping our hats, at least strategically, in the political chess game to Stephen Jackson.
Yeah.
What is the status now? Does that mean it comes back? Does that mean it
goes to committee?
Which means what exactly?
How long before you see it again?
I tell you what, Robert, before we tip our hat just to that, I need to tip my hat to the entire, the entire horseshoe of my colleagues on the opposing side, that Robert's Rules of Order states if we call for the question, and the question was called and it was voted on, which means all debate immediately stops. You can't talk about anything, and you have to vote on everything down the line, every substitute motion, every amendment, everything. We called for the question, If you notice, if you watch the video, Commissioner Jackson was not there yet. And Commissioner Epperson moved that agenda item to the very front of our agenda. He suspended the rules, moved it to the front so that we could vote on it to get the people that were in the chamber out and to expedite the process. We had a full chamber of people. Naturally, on stuff like this, we would. Well, they moved it to the front. However, Commissioner Jackson was not there yet, so they did not have the votes. If you go back and watch the video, it was brilliant, Robert. It was brilliant. I admire them for using Robert's Rules of Order to their advantage when it comes to political play. But after we called for the question was called, the vote passed, we had to immediately vote on that. We did not vote on that. The president allowed a man to come up and speak, allowed him to use his full 3 minutes, even extended with a motion to extend 2 more minutes to allow for somebody to pop up in the chamber. I even looked at Commissioner Young and I said, I bet you Commissioner Jackson is going to walk through that door in 1 minute. And sure enough, he walked in just in time to vote. So if you look at that,
you got played, huh? You got played.
Man. Yes, and like I said initially, if we're not watching and learning, we're not doing our job, because you don't just go down there to vote up or down. You have to realize how to play the game, or you're going to get left behind as well.
So pardon me just a second, Mario, because you're dealing with an 85 IQ guy here, and I'm not talking about Aaron.
Nah.
Which means what? At the end of the day, what is the status of the vax mandate for Caddo Parish employees? At least the vax mandate with an asterisk.
It's headed to committee, so you'll see us debate that in the pandemic committee. I'm assuming in the near 1 or 2 weeks. And
Jackson is the chairman of the pandemic committee, correct?
That's correct.
When do you expect it back on the Caddo Commission's full agenda?
So after the body, or I'm sorry, the committee votes on it, changes it, does what they do, then it'll go. So if I had to guess, we're going to see it late August.
Oh goodness, man, you feel politically dirty today, don't you?
Well, I told my colleagues, I said, I hope you guys are paying attention. Man, these guys are teaching us stuff.
They are working the room.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But I saw the news, and Aaron, you guys always get the news straight, so want to make sure that you are abreast of what's going on.
I got it fixed, and I'm going to go watch it again. Like I said, I took a 5-hour nap yesterday, so I missed all your good stuff, that good afternoon TV that just keeps me rolling.
Yeah, can't live without Judge Judy. Great stuff, Mario. A pleasure as always. Best to everybody that we both know. Nice talking to you, my friend.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Thanks.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel News next. Here's Ruben.